They run faster, longer, and with more heart than anyone on earth. I waited to know why. So I trained like a Kenyan athlete for 1 month. Here's what I learned. I am a 26-year-old from Ireland and I love running. I run a lot. I've been running for about 5 years now, and my main goal is just to keep improving and eventually break 3 hours in a marathon. However, there is a small problem. I live in Ireland, and the best training partners that I have are cows and tractors. The only motivation I get out of these long runs is the hope that someday soon I will be able to run a sub 3 hour marathon. Then one day I came across an article saying that Kenya is the birthplace of some of the greatest long distance runners in history. And it got me thinking, why are Kenyan athletes so good at running? It seems like every time there's a big race, whether it's the Olympics or Boston Marathon, there's always a Kenyan man on the podium. It's incredible. And I wanted to find out why. So I decided to train like a Kenyan athlete for 30 days and see what would happen. What I learned from this experience was that the training methods that these athletes use are very different from what I'm used to. In fact, most of their sessions were completely unheard of. But before we get into the training, let's first take a look at the diet. In Kenya, the traditional food consists of ugali, which is made from maize flour, and some vegetables and fruit. They don't eat much meat, but they do eat a lot of dairy products, especially when they are training for a marathon. I'm not going to lie, ugali was pretty hard to get used to. But I tried to make sure that every meal I ate was as close to what a Kenyan athlete would eat as possible. Now onto the training. Every morning I would wake up at 4 a.m. sharp. This was the hardest thing for me to get used to, but apparently if you want to be a good long distance runner, you need to start your day early. The first session of the day would be a double session. I did a tempo run in the morning and then I did a fartlek session in the evening. A tempo run is basically a comfortable pace for an extended period of time. For my first tempo run, I went out for 90 minutes at what I thought was a comfortable pace. But after 60 minutes, I realized that I could go a lot faster. And that's when I learned the true meaning of the word tempo. The second session of the day is a fartlek session. This is a mix of high intensity running with periods of rest or low intensity running. And it's great for improving your speed and endurance at the same time. The session I did was 20 minutes of running, 5 minutes of walking, and 5 minutes of jogging. This was repeated 4 times during the whole session. And let me tell you, by the end of it, I was absolutely knackered. The next day, I did a recovery run, which means I went out for a nice, easy run to recover from the previous day as hard work. After this, I had a day off because even Kenyans take a day off every now and again. On day 3, I did another double session. This time, I did a hill session in the morning and a track session in the evening. The hill session was 1 hour long and consisted of 10 by 2 minute hill repeats. And the track session was an hour and a half and consisted of 10 by 400 meters. This was the most intense session of all the days I did, and it really pushed me to my limits. But I learned so much about myself and what my body is capable of. On day 4, I had another recovery run, which was much needed after the previous day's hard work. On day 5, I did another double session. This time I did a fartlek session in the morning and a tempo run in the evening. The fartlek session was similar to the one I did on day 2, but this time I pushed myself a little harder. And the tempo run was 2 hours long. This was really tough, but it was also a great learning experience. I learned how to pace myself and how to stay relaxed while running at a fast pace. The rest of the week followed the same format as the first week, with each day consisting of 2 running sessions, one in the morning and one in the evening. Some days were harder than others, but I learned so much about my body and how to train properly. By the end of the 30 days, I felt like I had improved so much as a runner. I was definitely not as good as those Kenyan athletes, but I learned a lot from their training methods. Their ability to push themselves to the limit day after day is truly inspiring. And I hope that someday I can be as good as them. So, if you want to improve your running, I highly recommend checking out some videos about Kenyan running form. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to run a sub 3 hour marathon